Okay, good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I am Dan Angove, the General Manager for Newtown Artesian Water. Tonight, I'd like to give an update on a letter that was sent out to our customers in February of this year, addressing the discovery of perfluorinated compounds in the water supply. Perfluorinated compounds, or PFCs as they're commonly addressed in the news, were discovered during our annual testing in late 2018, in October or November. At the request of the Department of Environmental Protection, follow-up samples were conducted and confirmed the numbers. After the confirmation, we decided to send a letter out to the customers and explain that although we were far below the health advisory limit of 70, we felt that the customers had a right to know, especially since it's such a hot topic in the news. Also in the letter, we stated that more information could be found on the website, newtownwater.com, including what are perfluorinated compounds and why are perfluorinated compounds an issue in our area. However, the question that we seem to be asked the most is, what is Newtown Artesian Water Company doing to address this issue? Newtown Artesian will continue to monitor on a quarterly basis at the supply entry points and at representative locations throughout the distribution system. We will continue to assess and publish the results on our website for all the customers to go on and see exactly what the results were from the supply and the closest distribution point to where they live. Continue to monitor all regulatory meetings and discussions for updates on setting a maximum contaminant level for perfluorinated compounds, or MCL as it's better known in the news. Continue to investigate future treatment options in the event that this becomes needed, and of course keep our customers informed of all new information that becomes available. We will continue to meet all past and future regulatory limits to ensure safe and reliable drinking water to our customers. So with that, I'd open up for questions about this. Comments?
Any questions from the board?
I have a couple of more or less technical questions about how the tests were performed or how the samples were done. I mean, do you go to a well and you take several samples over a period of days, or you just take one sample, or?
We take one sample at the wells after they've been running and send it to the lab, usually with a trip blank as well. A trip blank would be water that is of no contaminants, so there's no other environmental factors that could contaminate the sample in the air, basically. Because we're talking parts per trillion, so it could be, anything that falls off your shirt into there could obviously affect that.
Right, so it's like evidence, you have to make sure it's protected.
Yes.
And can you tell us the laboratory that does these tests?
Yes, it's QC Labs.
QC Labs?
Mm-hmm.
And that's latest sampling was for in March, I think you said, was that true?
Yes, the latest samples that we had were in March for the first quarter.
I mean, I noticed there are some changes, reductions.
There's a slight change, a slight drop, but again, when you're dealing with parts per trillion, we're not going to get too excited about seeing a drop of that because it's parts per trillion.
So it's like there's a plus or minus factor here, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay. Now, you still have well 14 and well 18 out of service, is
Correct.
that correct?
Correct, they're still out of service, and the reason we decided to take those offline is because there's a lot of discussion in the news, and we would like to see an MCL set on this based off of scientific results, and that's there's a lot of just discussion in the media about that, and we want an MCL set as a water company for a standard we just want to base off of scientific facts, that we follow.
Well, I don't know what the US EPA and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, what evidence they use for 70 parts per trillion, but I know that the Navy wants to use maybe like 400 parts per trillion before they start paying for anything. And there is some legislation working its way through the Senate at the state level to change the, I guess, a safe level down to 10 parts per trillion. So it's a lot of
Absolutely.
variation on what is and what isn't safe. But now you said you were going to continue to do these tests quarterly and
put the results on the website as soon as we have them in hand.
before that, I think you mentioned last time you were here, and thanks for coming, that you were doing tests yearly, is that correct?
Yes, we were testing annually, and up until the tests that were conducted in October and November of 2018, we were at a non-detect level. So obviously, the water from probably the military base is floating this way. So neighboring communities have been dealing with it for longer than we have, and unfortunately, the 2018 results showed that we had detectable limits.
So before that, 2017 results, it was below 5 parts per trillion, something like that?
Correct, and 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think those are all the questions I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions? Anyone from the public have any questions? Well, Mr. Angove, you have to come up to the podium, sir. You have to come up to the podium, sir.
My name is Joseph Gracia. Question I have is simple enough. What was the actual level that you measured?
We tested, here's what can be found on our website. It's a graph that shows all of our source of supply and distribution system that will show the limits, where we are, and of course where the health advisory limit is.
Okay.
So newtownwater.com, again, will quarterly update that with all results that come in from the laboratory.
The question I have is how far off are you from the 70 level? This
Here's
is 70?
That's the 70 right there. So you can see where we're at, 12 in some spots.
Can you mention just the highest level?
In the source of supply or distribution, John?
The supply, the wells you took off the system.
48 would be well 14.
Did you say 48 or 28?
48.
Oh, because I thought I had your chart. It says 25 and 23.
Yeah, for the health advisory limit, you would combine them together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it's a 48.
Okay.
Anyone else from the public would like to ask a question? She asked me to come up.
Joan Farb, and I live in Newtown. I just have a couple questions. Because I printed out the water source from your website. So you mentioned you had a higher number for, well, I guess 14. It was, because over here it says like 20, 25. You said it was like 48.
Yeah, so when they're looking at combined, they're looking at the
two.
yes, combined,
Oh,
because
okay.
there are two different chemicals that are there, but when they're
Okay.
looking at a combined perfluorinated compounds together is what you want to.
Okay. And you mentioned, I think Supervisor John Mack mentioned those two wells with the asters are closed.
They are taken offline currently until there's further studies done.
Okay, so would that mean that you would have to get water from another source, or if there?
Currently, we're making the water up from our make
Okay.
up for those wells.
And are they tested?
Yes, all the levels are
Oh,
on
so,
the website. Yeah,
Okay.
So these are all of our sources.
so,
I'm sorry you can't see what we're
okay,
looking at here.
so they would be the other two over here?
Correct, and
Oh,
here, so
okay.
here's well 4A, 5, 6, 14, 18, and then here's Lyndhurst Interconnect and Freedom Drive Interconnect.
Okay. Well, from the article I read about the senator and the Senate had, is introducing a bill to have the limit to 10, and because there isn't any legal limit right now with the Water Act, but according to this, I think from this chart, it seems like you're doing a pretty good job.
Well, monitoring
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
there's a lot in the news that it, you know, like John was saying, what, there's different opinions or studies that are showing what exactly is safe for a long-term exposure. Basically, if you're going to drink the water for every day for your entire life.
Right.
Now, the parts per trillion, the 10 that's being introduced, that's, it's being introduced, and if that passes, then we will comply with that
Okay.
and meet every limit that's put on us.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? Dan, how many total wells do we have operating at the moment, including the two that are closed? What would the total be?
5
5?
wells.
With the two, that's 7. Is that-
No, 5 to total.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the 5 that, I guess 3 are operating,
Correct.
with the 3 operating, does the township have ample water supply?
Yes, we have 2 interconnects with, one with the Yardley system and one with Bucks County Water.
Okay. And at this moment, drinking water is always of a concern, because again, like you said, we see articles all the time in the newspaper, and what happened in Flint, Michigan, which who knows if that's even been resolved yet. Is the drinking water for the township residents healthy and drinkable at the moment?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, I drink it daily.
Okay, I just want to reassure the people out there. Yes, ma'am, you have a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just does the, sorry, Jennifer Losey, I'm a 42-year resident of Newtown. I'm just wondering if there's plans in place, should that start, like you said, it's coming down from the naval base. Once it comes down and we keep seeing those levels rising and we're seeing it hitting all of the wells, what is the plan in place then for the water company? How to combat that?
Yeah,
If you could talk a little bit
Sure,
about that.
absolutely, that's a great question. So, in the event that we see levels rise, or even if they determine with their scientific study that the MCL should be lower, we would be given probably, if history proves, 2 years to comply to get the levels where they would need to be, and that would involve some type of treatment, probably a carbon filtration or an ion exchange at the wells that would give us the water at safe limits at that point. So right now the level is 70, and even though there isn't technically there isn't a MCL, the health advisory limit, if you exceed 70, then you are in fact forced to do something. I mean, not only forced, we would, but that is a governing level right now of 70.
Are there funds being set aside for that, so that the residents don't see a huge hike in their water costs?
Funds set aside. There's always plans for treatment to be added. So off-site, yes, I would say there's some funds being put aside.
Any other questions from the public? Okay, seeing none. Thanks, Dan, appreciate you coming,
Okay,
and
thanks.
hopefully we'll see you in a few months. We'd like to have you come back every once in a while, give us an update.
Yep.
And bring some water with you. So.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dan, take care.